Today I'm talking about the rise of the creator and the new nature of film work. Now, I put film in brackets. There are multiple industries that this new changing nature of work is affecting, but most of my audience are film workers. If you don't know me, I'm Daniela Sioni. I'm an internationally recognized script supervisor, comedy screenwriter, and story consultant based mostly in Toronto, Canada. I have an online course business that currently has 1,000 students in 30 countries, and I'm very, very proud of that as well. I help people achieve their goals even in these difficult times in our film industry. I think we could all agree, if you've been paying attention, the nature of work has been changing. Now, many of you probably watching this, including myself, are still working in the old model of filmmaking for at least part of the time. For the people sort of coming up in the film industry, gather around the campfire. The old studio and network system of working in film, it used to be, and still is for many of us. The studios and the networks control all the work. They had the money, they have the distribution ties, whether it's streaming services, studios, or networks, they would have the bulk of the work, and students or new people at whatever age entering the film business would train or either in the classroom or on the job. In the indie world, usually to start with, you would sort of start from the bottom, start as a production assistant, or in the UK, a runner, and develop enough credits in order to be able to apply for union work. And then whatever department you found yourself in, you would work your way up in that department until you were probably a department head making a six-figure living. Most department heads can comfortably make a six-figure living in 6 or 7 months, a year. You would hustle for those gigs, you would make connections, you would wait for the phone to ring, and for many, many years it would ring. We've been in a hard couple of years in the industry where that's all been shaken up by various factors that we're all very familiar with as film workers. What's happening now, a new model has been slowly rising, and I think it's actually here. We are currently now in the creator economy. There's actually a lot of good news to this for us as film technicians, because before, the studios and the networks had all the resources. It used to be very, very expensive to make and distribute and market a movie. So they had really all the resources and all the power. And now that has actually fallen away, because as film production and post-production processes became cheaper, they also became more democratized. So as they've inadvertently democratized the process to the point where they've taken away much of their own power. Let's pay attention, especially film workers, so that we can not only survive but thrive while adapting to this changing economy. Because there is a romanticism to the old studio system. It's not that I'm like, okay, like out with the old and with the new. The old system clearly worked for me. But, that's not to say that what's coming in now is a bad thing, because I think we can call it gatekeeping is officially dead. We have a distribution platform right here on YouTube. Now, I am an average person, probably like you, a film worker who has a channel, and my channel's super niche. I mainly talk to script supervisors and screenwriters. I only have just over 18,000 subscribers, and I've personally been able to sustain a six-figure living mostly because of this channel. Those of you who work in film know the hours on film sets are 70 hours a week on average in North America. It takes a fraction of that time for me to earn the same on YouTube. And you're like, yeah, but you have 18,000 subscribers, which isn't a lot really by YouTube standards. The truth is, I have been doing this since I had less than 1,000 followers. So it's not really about the amount of subscribers you have, but it is about knowing how to use the medium. The medium being any social media. It's a matter of understanding how each platform works to reach its audience and then reaching that audience. So I want to keep loving my job. We're in film because we love making film. It's not the only reason to be a film worker, but it is certainly the thing that will keep you going in the 12th hour. My goal with all my courses, I train script supervisors, not because people, grow up and say, I want to be a script supervisor. It's a really hard job. I want happy, productive, constructive, sought after script supervisors. And I believe I have helped people get there. I want people to find work-life balance. I want people to love every moment that they're on set. It's not even a side hustle anymore. Like people we talk about side hustles in film, having other ways in other industries of keeping us alive when the film industry dies, which it does from time to time, right? I now consider film my side hustle. It's crazy, but now I go back to set and work when I want to because the project just is so irresistible that it draws me back in. It actually, truth be told, costs me money whenever I step onto a film set. It costs me money to be there because I have to spend much more time to make the same amount of money that I would make if I was spending less time making YouTube videos. And that's actually kind of a cool thing. And I hope you all get to experience this because it's been such a really a crazy time in the film business. Now, anyone with a smartphone and internet access can figure out how to monetize online. And you actually don't have to figure this out alone. You've probably seen little ads pop up with people from all walks, all countries, they've figured out how to make, and a number you'll see pop up a lot is 10K a month. It's I'm not saying it's guaranteed because nothing is guaranteed, even less so in the film business, nothing is guaranteed, but I am saying that it's a very attainable figure. It's a very common number we hear. So whether you learn that this is possible for you from me or from someone else, I'm just saying to my fellow kin in the film industry, please learn it. We have to more and more and more bet on ourselves, invest in ourselves, and trust that there are multiple ways to make a living. And the old model of waiting to get hired, whether you're in film or not, it's gone. It's still here, but you don't want to only rely on it because you're putting yourself in such a vulnerable position when we now have many, many other options. And this is a huge one. The film worker of the future isn't just a crew member. I don't think we can be anymore and survive. We are creators. We're creating either films that we're leveraging social media to distribute, or we are creating content that then allows us to be creative and use our downtime to write. I've written more scripts in the past 5 years than I ever have in my life because I've had time to. What I'm going to propose today is crazy, but I think it will allow people an opportunity to learn at virtually no cost, learning how you can leverage social media to monetize it. The old way of being in the film business, and actually in most industries, was about waiting for the phone to ring or hustling for work and then still waiting for the phone to ring. The new way is about choosing yourself and greenlighting yourself. So if you're ready to take the next step on how to learn exactly how to monetize your creativity through social media, I would love to invite you into a class that I only teach once a year because it involves a lot of my time, called MBA Social Media Monetization Masterclass. The MBA stands for Maximum Bliss Accelerator. I hope to help you find the fastest way to your bliss. Last year I had it at a beta rate of $97 just to see if I could actually change some lives, and it did. I had one student who is a film worker, who is a story consultant in Chicago, who was able to create an app and live off that app. Not totally off that app. Because of her social media presence, she got hired in various contexts like social media management, creating content for different film companies and film festivals. And she wrote to me a few months after that class and said, I'm actually able to cover all my bills now with my social media. We had a really tiny class. This year, I have raised the price to $197 US, which would be like a much more normal low price for what this is. However, I have something crazy to offer you today. But first, I'm going to tell you about the course. So it's 5 weeks of dripped content, pre-recorded dripped content, which means I release a new module every single week. It's starting September 30th. It's every Tuesday afternoon. We're going to meet every Sunday. I'll drip the content out. Before the first Tuesday, I'll drip the first module out. So we have a 90-minute Zoom every single week where you can ask me questions, or my most successful students, I find, put everything into action and then report back and go, okay, this is what I'm doing. What do you think? These are my results. What do you think? I teach you guys to analyze your data and see what's working and lean into what's working for you, because everyone's going to be different. I think small group coaching time is so important. And that's usually the very expensive part of the equation, right? That's what usually why courses like this would cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars normally. I don't make my money teaching social media, but I still think it's such a critical skill for the people in the programs that where I do make my money, like the script supervision and writing and story editing programs, that I think that it will benefit every single person in those programs, but also it will benefit like a dolly grip in Atlanta. It will benefit like a PA just starting in the industry to develop these skills. So I'm doing something super insane. At this link is the course page for this class, which goes from September 30th to October 27th. Right now I have a secret bump sale going. And the bump sale, if you've never heard of a bump sale, this is such a cool thing. The first person who buys it on the bump sale link pays $1. The next person who buys it on that link pays $2. The next person pays $3, okay? This means you can get what I think is essential life training to survive the film industry and other industries for pennies. Like pennies. You're getting small group coaching with me plus all the tools from my own experience. Oh, and there's a bonus. By the way, there's a bonus. There was a month where I made 30 grand in a month, and I took very specific steps to get there. And I outline it detailed in this little mini course. It's a 1-hour mini course called Organic YouTube Sales Engine, because most of my results come from organic means, which means I do run ads. You guys have seen my ads, but most of my results don't come from those ads. Those ads raise awareness about who I am and what I do. But really, most people stumble upon one of my videos on YouTube, mostly, sometimes on Instagram, sometimes on LinkedIn, sometimes on Facebook, mostly on YouTube, and they buy one of my courses. I'll show you exactly how I do that with every single medium. And this, plus you get this little mini course. I'll show you exactly how I did it step by step, because I did it intentionally. About a year ago, I had 1,300 followers on this YouTube channel, and I posted publicly on my Facebook. You can go through my Facebook history and find that post where I went, you know what? I teach social media. I know that I don't depend on subscriber count to make my money, but I'm still going to be very intentional about my subscriber count and get as many subscribers as I can using the strategies that I teach people to reach their audiences, because I don't want to be talking out of my butt. I want to show people that a regular person can do this, mostly through organic means. You just got to know the playground that you're playing in. I'm going to keep the bump sale on until September 12th. The class starts on September 30th. After September 12th, you can only purchase it at the regular price of $197. Those who purchase sooner will get it cheaper. So the first person will get it for $1. The second, the 10th person will get it for $10. The 50th person will get it for $50. Yes. Maybe you'll land on it next week and it'll be at $100. Still half price. Do with the knowledge what you will. I find that results vary according to the ideas you have. And listen, that's a really cool way that people use the weekly coaching sessions. They brainstorm with me and with the collective. If you're a film worker, I deeply understand your love of what we do, and how if you could sustain yourself until like a really great project came around, and be really choosy about the projects you pick, wouldn't it be worth it to at least try? Can we make this the year that you try? Because for 5 years now, people have been sitting at home and watching me do this. I've been quite public about every single move I've made with my online courses, with social media, with Coffee Break MBA, with everything. I've been quite public, even about my failures, because I have failures. Like the 10,000 number is an average. Some months I make way more, and some months I make way less. That's the life of a solopreneur. Luckily, as film workers, we're used to that. Whether you train with me or not, whoever you decide to learn this from, whether you take a lot of time to learn it yourself by following different people on different channels, or whether you want it in a very simple, sort of easy to follow course, like I will provide you, whether you go with someone you feel more aligned with, I don't care. Just please, my hope for all my fellow film technicians is that you figure this out. You figure out the social media puzzle. We can greenlight ourselves. You can greenlight yourself. How about that?